Welcome to the Empowered Purpose Podcast. This is for women who have been broken but refuse to stay there. Born homeless after my father fled the communist takeover of our country, Laos. We came to America with just $40 and a dream. I grew up bullied for my differences, lost in who I was. Life tested me through trauma, loss, and then losing my husband to cancer. But I'm still here, and now I'm choosing to live. This is for the women who are healing, building, and becoming. No matter what life throws at you, you still get to choose to live fully.
Welcome back to another episode of Empowered Purpose Podcast. Today, our special guest we have in our studio is Jamyla Jackée, and she's going to share a little bit about yourself, what you do now, Jamyla.
I am a licensed cosmetology instructor, full-time working on my business, which is helping brands to understand their voice and to scale their business, and just being a podcaster. I'm an author as well, full-time mom, full of love, all of those things. That's my life on a day-to-day.
Amazing. And you said you're an author.
Yes.
Can we dive in a little bit about your book and also what inspired you to write your book?
Yes, so the name of my book is called Why I Got Naked, Healing the Child Within, and that title is very, strong. I'm a Capricorn. I always talk about zodiac signs, and if you know anything about Capricorns, we're very resilient. We're very business-oriented and things like that, and so we come off as, strong and bold. So with the title of my book, it really wasn't meant for people to look at me like, oh, she's taking off her clothes, which is what a lot of people think when I say the title. Yeah. It's really to allow people into my world and to see why I decided to strip everything that was a part of me so that I can become the better version of myself that I am today. And I basically talk about my life growing up, the abuse that I went through and how I got through it.
Yeah. If you don't mind, and you could share as much or as little as you would like. Tell us a little bit about your childhood, and you can share as little or as much as you would like about the domestic violence that happened.
Yeah, so my mother was 14 years old when she had me. My dad was some years older than her, so she went through a lot of things with my father, and she basically had to leave the life that she was living so that she can become a better version of herself. And in that time where I was born, my younger brother was born at the time, she was still a child. 14 is very young. And a lot of people have kids these days at that young age, but they don't really become the fully developed person that they are. And so what I believe is my mother was trying to figure out who she was. She became married, and then she started having more children, and she didn't really have the time or the space to really come in and be a mother like she could have. And so that's where the abuse started to come in from her husband towards me as I was younger. And I suffered the consequences still to this day, just healing from those things. And basically, he molested me when I was younger for a very long time, and made me feel like I was small, made me feel like I had to come to him for certain things because my mother wasn't doing it or she couldn't provide and things like that. So he, in my opinion, he brainwashed me. He made me feel like he was the provider and the protector, but he was actually a user, and he was abusing me. So that's pretty much what I went through, and I just fought to try to understand what it was after the fact in my later years.
Yeah. And how old were you when that started?
I was 11.
At 11. Does your mother know about these things, or?
During that time, no.
Okay.
She didn't know. I never felt comfortable with talking to anyone about it.
Absolutely.
Again, he came in as a person that was like a provider. He was my stepfather. So if you can understand what the role of a stepfather is when they come into a child's life, they're supposed to be the father figure. So what he did was he'd be like, oh, well, I'll give you money to go and do, what you want to do. You let me touch on you, what I'm saying? Or you want to go and learn how to drive, you want to drive the car, cool, just let me, put my hand on you and things like that. Or if we're at home and I'm in the kitchen, my mom's in the kitchen, like he would grab or squeeze my ass, things like that, or try to touch on me when she's there, and I'm just like, what are you doing? It was so like, I don't know what the word is. It was he used me.
Yeah.
Like, he used me for whatever reason. You know, I don't think I'll ever know, because honestly, I don't give a damn. I don't want to talk about it.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
At this point, because it's been so long.
Right.
But what really was heavy on me was after my mother did find out, because she walked in on him doing it to me. She stayed with him, and after that, it was just like, I guess, the rebuilding phase of all of our lives. And she decided to let him come back into her life. And I felt like I needed my mother.
Yeah.
I felt like what happened was exposed, and now I can feel more free. But it wasn't like that. It was still like my story was not being told. I wasn't being heard.
Yeah.
I wasn't being embraced.
Absolutely.
So that I can have the love that I needed from my mother and things like that. So it was just like another day, and another day turned into another week or a month and years, that it was just like, okay, now it happened, but we just gonna not talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
And so many years of that, it's just like, what am I doing? Why am I holding myself back and not allowing myself to be free? Because it hurts me not to see her with him like that.
Yeah.
But it was just like, this man did these things to me, and everybody's acting like it never happened.
Yeah.
But I'm the one that's suffering from it, because they get to have the benefits of having this man still in their life, but I have to go and figure out where I'm going to get my family love from. I can't get it from my mom, can't get it from my father, because he wasn't there. And it's just like, I had nothing. I had to go and figure these things out for myself. You know, so to me, that's like where the real hurt came from after the fact.
Right. Right. And her reaction when she did find out, what was that? She left him, or then she came back to him? Or?
So for years, he was only fondling me and touching me and like rubbing, you know, those types of things. Can't really talk about it.
Sure.
So it wasn't like he actually penetrated me. The time where he actually penetrated me was the time that she actually walked in.
Oh my goodness.
And so he jumped up and he ran, he left. She took her anger out on me.
Oh, no.
She took her anger out on me, and I ended up leaving, and it was just like a whole little spiel. It was a whole thing after that. We had a conversation. I remember maybe 2 conversations after that, and she just asked me questions. I honestly don't remember exactly what she asked me, but along the lines of, like, you know, what happened, how did it, like, how long has it been, you know, like the basic stuff. But at the time, like, I wasn't living with my mom, so I didn't have to see her every day or have these conversations. You know, like if you were to go through something with your child, you check in with them, see how they're doing and things like that. It wasn't like that. So it was just like out of sight, out of mind type thing. So eventually he came back around, and I came back around because I felt like I was secluded. I didn't have that love once again.
Yeah.
But also I do want to mention that she did ask me if I wanted to make a police report. The police were called at the time.
Oh.
I can't remember again if we did like like a rape kit or something.
Yeah.
But at the time I didn't want to press charges, or I couldn't press charges, because at that time I had become either 17 or 18 years old. So it was just like, there was nothing that they can do about it.
Because you weren't a minor anymore.
Yeah, because it had been going on for so long.
Oh my goodness.
It was just like, at that point, like.
Right. You were an adult by the time he
Pretty
decided.
much.
I wonder if that was purposely, like.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's unfortunate that that happened to you, and for you to have to carry that alone. And also the hurtful things of, wow, I had a family, and now I feel like I'm on this island, this ship by myself when that happened, you know. And so tell us about your dynamics of how you and your mom's relationship is now.
So, excuse me. I grew up Christian. I grew up in the church. We moved around a whole lot, went to multiple different churches. And so the church teaches you, for the most part, that you should forgive people and you should move on. And so that's pretty much what I had in my mind, forgive and pretty much forget. I didn't look at it as sweeping it under the rug until I understood what it was. So the relationship with me and my mom, again, it was just like, well, that's the past. Again, he came back into her life, and it's just like, well, he apologized, so now we move on and we get over this thing, you know? And to me, at first, that made sense, but I was still looking for my mother.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's like I got the motherly things where it's just like, oh, hey, how you doing? You know, or the kids, being involved with the kids, because she pretty much took care of my kids a whole lot when I wasn't there, because I fell off a lot of times where I was just confused. Like, I went through this thing my entire life, and that wasn't the first time that I had been founded with.
Right.
I remember at like 4 years old, maybe 3 years old, that it happened to me before from another family member.
Jeez.
And I mentioned it to my mother, and she was like, how did you even remember that? Like, you know, you think because kids are so small, they don't remember that, but I did. It was something that I remembered. And so again, as I'm starting to come out and just really heal from a lot of things, a lot of things were exposed, and I want to have these conversations with my mother, asking her questions and things like that, but she wasn't really openly available to give me those things. So our relationship has been pretty mediocre. I didn't feel like I could really ever trust her, especially when she went back. So it's just like, I've always just like, well, you know, just check in and see how we're doing, and maybe go a few places sometimes. But it was still always in the back of my mind, like, this is not what I want it to be, so I don't care about it. And today, in present time, I don't talk to her. I recently went down to Tennessee to go and visit my family, but I kept it cordial. Like, you're still my mother, but
you
I
did
honestly,
see her.
Absolutely. I feel like she was just a vessel to get me here so that I can continue on with my life, but I don't feel like she is a mother to me.
Right.
I feel like a mother is someone who definitely births you, who is there for you, and guides you through life, giving you the advice that you need. You know, it's not just about doing as I say and not as I do. You have to really be there for people. Just like if you're in a relationship or in a friendship, or if you're a teacher teaching a student, like, you have to have that trust there. And I don't think I've ever had that trust from mother to daughter, so it's just been surface level. And I just keep it cordial. She doesn't have my phone number.
Oh, wow.
We're not celebrating holidays, none of that stuff, until she figures out what she wants to do with her life. And God shows me that it's time, or if it ever will be, for her to be in my life. There's no purpose. I do just fine as I am right now.
Now, did you find another mother figure to kind of help mold you into who you are today?
No. And I feel like majority of my life I was trying to find mother figures to do that. My grandmother was my grandmother was pretty much like my mother. I talked to her more. I felt more open with her, but she still wasn't the person that I feel like I can share everything with, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So no, I've never found a mother figure. I don't think I'm supposed to. Like, you only get one mother, so, and I respect that.
Right, absolutely. Now, just so that, you know, for those who are listening, what are some of the signs that they can look at? Like, if their child is going through something like that, if they ended up with a stepfather and they have daughters, or vice versa, because it happens to boys too, as we're going to have in our next guest speaker share with us. But, like, what are some different signs as a parent, if your child is going through this for all these years, to look for, right? Because there are certain things when someone is going through it, they're taught to be silenced. But are there things that maybe as a mother she may have missed?
Yes. And I a little bit understand why. Because, again, going back to the zodiac sign, she's an Aquarius. She's all about making money and providing. So her mindset, to me, was there. And, again, she had me when she was young. So she couldn't really comprehend, like, what do my kids need? It's not really about what they need. It's about what I can provide. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I used to sit in the closet a lot and just be by myself and wish and hope that somebody would come and find me and, you know, ask me, how am I doing? Like, why am I sitting in the closet? Why do I feel this way? Because, again, growing up, My mother disciplined me for things that I did, and her husband disciplined me as well. So it was just like, you don't really have anybody that you can really go to. So some of the signs that you can really pick up on when a child is being abused, whether it's verbally or physically, is to just watch, just look at them. Ask questions. Sometimes they will say, oh, I'm okay, I'm okay. But when you realize like they're not talking, they're not having a conversation, then as a parent, I feel like you should force a conversation. And a lot of people don't feel like you should force kids, but if you're coming from, like for me, from trauma, it's like you're learning so much. We have to learn to, at some point, implement it, and it's not going to be easy. So when you do in a soft way kind of force a conversation, then it allows them to open up.
Yeah.
You still want to give space, but other signs is just like when people are quiet, when children are quiet, they don't want to be around. They always are around a certain person, or you notice that person is looking at them, different and things like that. Those are just some of the things that I can remember, like how it made me feel and things like that, and not so much of what I look for, because I have my own children, and we all have things that we go through, and I have things that I look for, because my mother also didn't want me to go outside, and she didn't want me to do certain things. So it's just like, if I didn't have that shield, majority of that stuff wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But it had to have happened to her, or she must have had her own extra trauma that she went through that made her feel like, I want to hold my kids, so I'm going through what I went through. So it just trickles down, in my opinion. So it's like, it's going to keep happening if you don't open up and allow yourself to just be who you're supposed to be.
Absolutely.
But there's definitely signs, and it really comes with just the child or the person pulling back.
Yeah. Okay, so Jamyla, tell me a little bit about how everything that happened to you to that point, how that's kind of shaped you, because I know you ended up having kids as well. Tell me what happens then. Like, you had your kids, and then how did that shape you, or what was the outcome of your experience from that?
I started looking for love in all the wrong places. And I started having kids thinking that it was going to help me, but it actually held me back, because I didn't have the love to give to my children. Gotcha. I was, again, looking for that mother figure, that family, and I'm like, I'm going to create my own family, and I'm going to have this perfect life, and that's not what happened. I attracted men that wasn't for me, because I was acting out of my lower version of myself, because I had been so hurt and I wasn't healed. And so moving forward, like, at first I was shy, but I really realized that it was just me not being able to trust anybody. And in this present moment, I don't necessarily not trust anyone or trust people. I trust myself to know that the outcome that I want is going to happen for me. So I'm able to talk to other people who have been through what I've been through, and to let them know, like, it does get better, because you create what you want in your life.
Yeah.
And although I had no choice but to go through those things, that's the path that was chosen for me. It doesn't have to be who I am right now.
Absolutely.
So it's totally in my past, and just continue to build on wanting to heal.
Okay. And so what are some of the things that you can share, or the lessons that you can share with the audience of your whole thing, everything that had happened? What are some of the lessons that you can share?
Some lessons I can share would basically be like, journal. Okay. Writing down your feelings, writing down what you're thinking. Every emotion is valid. Not staying there, because there was a time where I was always just like thinking about what happened. It was like every single day, this is what happened. Nobody understands me. Why? And then something just shifted, and that something was COVID. COVID shifted everything, and I'm so grateful that I'm on this side talking about it, because there were a lot of people that lost their lives and things like that. But for me, I honestly became the version that I am today, and now I see, like, again, I can have anything that I want, and I don't have to be thinking about what happened to me, because when you put yourself in that trauma and that mindset, you're inviting those feelings to be in the present moment. Like that happened years ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that they stay in that mindset because they stay around those people, because they keep allowing them in their life, because they keep trying to look for validation or replace it with something else. And it's just like, if you're going to replace anything or anyone, then make sure that it's something that's going to benefit you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those are the life lessons that I can give. Be a better version of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell us about your book.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. So the book is available on Amazon and on my website. Again, it's called Why I Got Naked, Healing the Child Within. And the best part about my book is the journal that I have in the back. So my journal prompts allow the reader, whether they've been through what I've been through or they just want to, understand my story and how people like myself go through these things. The journal prompt allows people to write down how they're feeling and how they can get through the day, pretty much, or the year, or just the next moment, and not allowing trauma to really hold them back.
Absolutely.
Because I believe that everybody goes through something in life. In order to be successful, everybody has to go through some type of adversity. And the journal prompts really allow you to just see where you are in life and how to make it to that next level.
Okay. And speaking of next level, what are you currently working on? What's next level for you?
Well, I don't want to talk too much because I'm still manifesting it.
Okay.
But what I will say is working with you has really, again, helped me to see myself for who I really am and not just put myself in this box where I was. Again, I've been a licensed cosmetology instructor for so long. I realized that that's no longer my path because I may have used that to heal other people, and it took away from me healing myself.
As a licensed instructor?
Yeah, as a licensed instructor,
Wow,
as a licensed cosmetologist, because we're always using our hands. We're touching on people. That's energy exchange.
Yeah.
They come and sit in our chair. They tell us about all their
Therapy.
problems. Yeah, and they give us money to be like.
We're the cheap therapists. We're the cheap therapists.
You're not even paying me enough. I can't. Your problems. No,
I can't hold on to your problems.
Package that up and get that back to you. So for me,
absolutely.
Now it's just again helping other people who want to honestly grow in business and learn more about who they are, how to be successful, understand entrepreneurship and business, understanding what their brand voice is, because I had to learn what my voice is in order for me to be who I am, so I can start speaking. And I don't want to speak to people from a hurt place, because you can feel that.
Absolutely.
You can see that. Doesn't matter how much makeup you put on.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't matter how much money you have. Absolutely. It doesn't matter who's around you, how many celebrities you know, or anything like that. People can feel if you're going through something. Animals, babies, children, all of those things. Yeah. So it's like we might think that nobody knows that I'm going through this, and I'm going to just fake it until I make it. I've never been about the fake it till you make it culture. Yeah. So showing up as the version that you want to be in the future is what I'm focused on. Helping people to find their brand voice, understanding who you are first, and then learning how to make money from it. So now I make money from my story and from showing people how to make it in life. So that's what's next for me.
Awesome. And then where can they follow you? Like you said, you're a podcaster as well and all of that. Like, how can they get in touch with you? Or maybe your story has inspired somebody. Like, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Yes, so I have a website. It's the number 1, JACKEE.com. I'm also on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok as Jamyla Jackée. That's Jamyla_Jackée. And, I'm pretty much everywhere. You can Google me. I guess I should say that first. You can Google me, and I pop up there.
Superstar. You see, she just got her superstar glass.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing your story. And I could tell you're sharing it from a healed space, right? Because maybe 5-10 years ago, you would not have been able to do this without breaking down. And it's to the point where now you're using your voice as a pillar to help other people also be able to be brave enough to, share their story and be a voice for themselves as well. And also it's healing. You know, when you're sharing what's going on, what's happened to you, a lot of times we hold things in, and I feel like when you do release it, sometimes you'll bring out emotions you didn't know were there, but that's kind of releasing it, right? And your book, it sounds like your book is part of that healing journey that helped you. And so now you're sharing that with the world for them to also be able to utilize it, journal in it, read some of the things that you went through, and perhaps get some nuggets from it that can help them, not even in some of the trauma, but perhaps any life obstacles, right, that they could potentially be going through, and, you know, growth and things like that. And so I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad that you're able to share your story here today. I know that a lot of people are living in silence with that abuse. I know I, for one, was one of them. And so, you know, as they say, 2 out of 3 women are domestic violence survivors, and 1 out of 3 men. And so this is a huge topic that is not talked about enough. And we need to normalize talking about it.
Yes.
We need to normalize talking about it, and we need to normalize looking for the signs as well as looking for the help and assistance. And I'm so happy to have this space where people can come in, and we are domestic violence advocates over here at Beautiful Potential, where we have created a safe space for you to come and tell your story, and we help you do that on this platform as well. So we absolutely appreciate it, and we will see you again soon, next episode.
You ain't gotta ask if I got it, I do. If you ever see me, you gon' know that it's true. Speaking of my name, it's get had me in the booth. Watching what you're saying, I'm gon' expose the truth. I done made it from the bottom, got it out the mud. I keep climbing up the ladder, I can't even see the floor. I'm a real one. You ain't never gotta ask, they can never take me out. Cause I was made for this, yeah. I was made for this. Can't let them get the best of me, cause I was made for this. Steady trying to test me, but I was made for this. Ain't never been afraid, yeah, I was made for this. You ain't gotta ask if I got it, I do. If you ever see me, you gon' know that it's true. Speaking on my name, this kid had me in the booth. Watching what you're saying, I'm gon' expose the truth. I done made it from the bottom, got it out the mud. I keep climbing up the ladder, I can't even see the floor. I'm a real one. You ain't never gotta ask, they can never take me out. Cause I was made for this, yeah. I was made for this. Can't let them get the best of me, cause I was made for this. Steady trying to test me, but I was made for this. Can't never been afraid, I was made for this. Started from the bottom, made it to the top. They could never stop me, I would never stop. Cause I was made for